Okay, let's see if we can get this thing started. And hopefully I can broadcast here from the den of my house. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to the people and see what we can do here. See if we can get us a little bit of a broadcast going. I'm getting in here just about a minute early. See if I can get everything situated and see if I can get some people started here. Hopefully the stream will be strong enough. It's the first time I've done it from my den, and hopefully I can get a few people in here and we get this party started. And we'll see what's on everybody's mind. It's way too cold for me to try to go up to the shop this morning. So I've decided to do it from my den, see what kind of response I get from here. Hopefully the signal will be good enough. Of course, I never know. It was showing a pretty good signal a while ago. So hopefully it'll stay consistent and I can have a decent stream here from the den instead of trying to go up to the cold shop. It's kind of chilly this morning. Let's see what was Google. Okay, Google, temperature.
In Cherryville, it's currently 35 degrees.
Yeah, 35 degrees. I know that's not cold compared to upstate New York and everything. I don't know. I feel for those people up there, what they're going through right now. But that's still chilly down here for good old North Carolina. 35 degrees is not pleasant for me. I like being in a nice, cozy house like I'm in right now. So we'll have to see. I'm going to test out test the chat. All right. Yep, it's coming through. Hadn't got many people in here yet. Of course, I'm getting started here. Let's see. Hey, Fleet Tech. Hopefully the signal's coming through good. Give me a thumbs up. Is the signal and the signal and the sound and the picture and everything, picture quality okay? I'm down here in my den and I'm at the mercy of my Wi-Fi. So if it gets flaky, I'm going to be in trouble. Hey, Aaron. How are you? Y'all tell me how the signal looks and everything. I'm at the mercy of the Wi-Fi this morning. So, and I've decided to work out of the den instead of going up to my cold shop. So I hope y'all have, it's good. Okay, well, great. Yeah, I don't want to fight the cold up there at my shop. My shop is probably, I guess it's probably about 35, 40 degrees inside my shop. I don't want to freeze myself up there. So that's why I decided to do it right here in my den, in my recliner, relaxed and everything. So hopefully the signal's good and everybody's doing okay. Yeah. Well, it's tough to want to get out there in the cold this morning, and I'm not much for it. And it was just too comfortable to stay here at the house. So I decided, well, I'm gonna stay right here in the comfort of my den, and hopefully everybody will understand. It's a lot easier here in my recliner than it would be going up to the shop and setting everything up at the shop and going from there. And hopefully the sun won't, the sunshine won't come too direct in behind me here. It's peeking through the windows here. So hopefully everything will be just fine there. Well, what's on everybody's mind this morning? I know the cold weather. The cold weather's got a lot of the Northeast really crippled, especially in the Buffalo area, and that's it's just horrendous. I mean, it's just monumental. Oh, your nephew got a deer that, well, I hope he didn't get it driving. Yeah, that's those deer are all over the place now. I've got tons of deer right here in my backyard. As you can see a little bit right through here, there's a little edge of my pond you can probably see, and that's a pasture right behind me there. And but I've got deer that run through here all the time. I can just kind of look off to the east or west here and out the windows, and I got some big picture windows right here. I can just look out those windows and see deer running through there all the time. So yeah, it's something. Thinking about going back to, have you been out of work, Aaron? I didn't know you were out of work. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of these things. I tell you what, weather's changing quick. It's gone almost from summer straight to winter almost in some cases. Not so much here. We're still getting fall effects. I mean, we haven't gotten inclement weather yet. We've just gotten a couple of colder days. But I feel fortunate here in North Carolina. I mean, we don't have any snow or bad weather. We had a couple of rainstorms come through the other day when the hurricane, we had the after effects of the hurricane came through. Oh wow, he's 13 years old and got his first deer. Was that his first deer? I don't know if you said that or not, but I imagine he is excited if he's 13 and got a deer. Now, is it muzzle loaded season or bow, or what season's in, Fleet Tech? I'm not a hunter. I hear him talk all the time. I got a couple of friends that actually I let them hunt my 75 acres down here, and they keep things cleared out and all that sort of stuff. But he tells me if it's bow season or muzzle loaded season and that sort of stuff. Because I haven't heard many guns, so it must still be bow in this area. I don't know. Oh, rifle season's in now. Rifle season's in Georgia. Well, Georgia and North Carolina, I think, have about the same dates. So it's probably rifle season up here now too. I don't know. I haven't actually checked. So I'm not a hunter, so to speak. I mean, I've got a couple of guns, but I've never hunted deer or birds or anything. So I don't know, but there's a lot of my friends do. Yeah. Well, y'all know what meat's the cheapest, don't you, out there? You know, all this meat's going up and everything else. Deer meat's the cheapest because they say it's under $1. Oh, me. Well, hey, Patrick, how are you? Yeah, Patrick, I'm glad to see you doing it. How's the weather in Austria? We're getting some tough weather up north. I don't know if you've seen it on our news and everything. We're getting up in Buffalo. I've been watching the news reports and looking at all those stranded truckers, and they've completely shut down all the interstates in upper New York area. I kept waiting to see if Joey would jump in here because Joey would be affected on a lot of this. I don't know exactly where all his travel lanes are, but I would imagine Joey is affected by this snow up in the Northeast in New York City and New York and everything else. You try to get 3 deer a year. Well, that's good. Well, they say, a lot of guys love it if they make it into ground meat and everything, and just make it hamburger meat and season it just right and gets the wild taste out of it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you've got to be able to season it to get that grassy taste out of it. That's sort of the taste that I always taste when I eat venison like that. That's been killed in the wild. Well, I'm doing pretty good, DL. Yeah, we're trying to hang in there and try to, like I said, I'm taking it easy in my den in my house right now, because I'm at the mercy of my Wi-Fi. Y'all let me know if the Wi-Fi gets funky or whatever. I'll try to change up, but hopefully the Wi-Fi is pretty good, and I'll be able to maintain a decent signal. You never know about Wi-Fi though. I mean, mine's completely Wi-Fi. In other words, I get it. It's wireless coming into the house, and then the Wi-Fi inside the house. Now at the building, I've got I got the fiber coming into the building, and then from there into the Wi-Fi. So the building up there with Spectrum, it's a way better signal than the signal down here at the house. Hey, Kevin, you're Jonesboro. Well, thank goodness you're in Jonesboro, Arkansas instead of Buffalo, New York. That would definitely be that'd be a tough thing to do right now. But so all this freight going in and out of the upper part of New York and everything is going to be it's going to be a tough road to hoe. I saw a bunch of Amazon trucks stranded in a truck stop, look like up near Buffalo. So people up there aren't going to be getting their Amazon packages, that's for sure. But I wouldn't want to be, don't let them dispatch you up north, Kevin. Let them keep you down south if you can. Stay in Arkansas and Mississippi and Louisiana, North Carolina, all that sort of stuff if you can. Don't let them say, well, I got a dispatch for you, to Albany, New York or something. Yeah, if you do something like that, you're going to have a tough road to hoe, I'm afraid. Because I've seen different reports in different areas. I mean, there's snow. It's not crippling snow in Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania's gotten some snow and a lot of other places. Hey, Walter. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense for a lot of people to eat deer meat this year, as opposed to eating other steaks and everything. I mean, this year especially, to kind of get you over the winter and everything else, I would, or put a couple in the freezer, whatever. I mean, it definitely makes sense to get out and hunt and get some deer this year. Of all years in the past. I mean, if you like deer meat, and now's the time to get it, other than trying to buy steaks at the grocery store. I mean, good gracious. I mean, we're up against it when it comes to groceries. I mean, just the cost of regular, everything from ketchup to your regular staples of all sorts everything's up. I mean, everything. There's not any, I've never heard anybody lately say, well, I went into the grocery store and believe it or not, so-and-so went down. No, nothing's going down. Inflation's kicked in big time, and we're going to have to live with it from now on, it looks like. And then I'm seeing the old traditional way of doing business. They're reducing the size of everything. So you get you get this box that's not completely full. Get a box of Raisin Bran or a box of something, and you look at it and it's not full like it used to be. Or they're making cookies. I've noticed cookies and different things are getting smaller. Let's say if you go get a 6-pack of cookies, like cheese crackers or something, they're smaller now than they used to be. So everything's being deflated or inflated. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you could, I actually had a friend years ago, and I'll tell you about this. I used to be a switcher on the yard at Carolina Freight. This is back in the 70s. And I had a friend that was a driver. He actually hit a deer in one of the Carolina Freight trucks. He got the deer, threw it on the back of between the trailer and the truck. It was what they call an old flat cab over truck. He threw the deer up on there, got some bungee cords and string and tied it down and brought it back into the terminal at Cherryville. And I helped him take it up to his car. And he actually gave it to a dispatcher, and the dispatcher was big into getting it. And I helped Pervy Drum take that deer up to his car. He took it home and slaughtered it. I mean, that's the old traditional roadkill type thing, but it's crazy. And then I heard the other day that what is it? West Virginia is actually passed a law that you're allowed to eat so much roadkill. So I don't know what all you're getting. Hey, Joy. Placing your Walmart order. Okay. Well, I hope Walmart's delivering to you. How's the snow where you're at, Joey? Did you get much snow up there in your part of New York State? Yeah. Yeah, I guarantee that I'm wondering how the F-150 electrics and all the Teslas, I bet there's not many Teslas out there riding around in the snow right now. Oh, I know it. That's what I was talking about. I've been watching the reports of up Buffalo in that area, that 6 foot of snow and almost 7 foot. And then talking about they're going to get maybe another foot of snow tonight. I mean, that is unreal. I don't envy that part of the state at all. Yeah. Well, I tell you, Walter, I don't know how y'all got to put up with y'all's crazy governor. I don't know how many crazy people y'all got up there that wanted to vote that Whitmer back in, but boy, they did, didn't they? I mean, I was surprised of how many crazies. I mean, we've got some ultra liberals that evidently are just voting for Democrats regardless. I don't even think they look on the ballots, or they've been brainwashed by some of the national media about abortion or some of this other stuff that's not even critical. I don't know. Yeah, Walmart delivers for you, does. Well, that's great. Yeah, they deliver around here too. We get that in Sam's Club. My wife orders a lot from Sam's Club, and we get the discount, and then we're on the Sam's Club. I don't know, something special that you have with Sam's Club, and then we get free delivery. And and that pays off because she's using that instead of us going out to, to Sam's or somewhere to get it. I mean, she gets bulk boxes of toilet paper and paper towels and anything we get like that in bulk, they bring it, free shipping. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them. If they want to ship it, ship it. Yeah, the Walmart Plus. Yeah. Well, we got the Sam's like that too. And it's, I don't know if that bleeds over to Walmart. I just don't know. I mean, it's the same company. I don't know where it stops and starts on that, but we get discounts from both of them. And it used to be they had like a local company that would go to the local Walmart and pick up your stuff and bring it to you. But I don't know exactly what all's involved with that now. But and they also got the curbside stuff. I mean, you can order stuff from Walmart and then they'll tell you your order's ready and you know, Walmart's only about, I got one 2 miles from me, so it's not too bad at all. Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, they've never said anything about the mileage for us. I mean, it's usually delivered by FedEx Ground. Our Sam's orders are. It's not. It doesn't come from anything straight from Sam's. It's. I mean, it comes through. You know, like FedEx Ground. So, you know, we're thankful for it, and we order a good bit of stuff that way. I would imagine that probably 60% of our groceries, well, not really groceries such as paper towels, toilet paper, uh, some dog food, and just a lot of different things. We get all that delivered, and FedEx Ground delivers our Chewy. That's what my wife uses for our dogs. She uses those Chewy things, and we get boxes and boxes of that, and then we you know, just different things. And you know, one thing it will do, and I think it's good for us, is by using that and buying it online, we don't get compelled to you know, get the emotional type purchases you know that you get when you go in a store. I mean, I went to a Home Depot the other day, and you get emotionally wrapped up, and you get the spontaneous type purchases when you go into a store, and I think that's the effect they want you to have when you go into a store. They want you uh, to buy stuff spontaneously. They want you to look at it and go, wow, I got to have that. And you know, you look at the flashy signs and the sales catalogs and everything, and you think, well, I got to have that. Whereas when you watch it online, I don't think your impulse buying is as bad. So, you know, we try to do a lot online. Of course, I want to keep the truck drivers rolling too. Since I'm an old truck driver, I want to keep the truck drivers rolling. So that's one way of looking at it. So Joy, you were spared all the snow then, were you? That's great. I'm glad you were spared the snow and all that sort of stuff, and you didn't have to linger over to the left over there toward the lakes and get involved with that. Got to give me a little bit of Sprite here. But Walter, how's the snow and everything over in Michigan? I mean, I saw where some of that lake effect snow was hitting y'all too. That there's sort of like I don't know if it's jet stream or whatever it is that's going up through the north and bringing all that cold air Canadian air mass or whatever it is. So I don't know. Now, is everything going good on the? Oh yeah, it seems to, DL. Now, DL, where are you located at? What what part of the what part of the United States are you in? Because I'm, like I said, I'm down here in the South, and we're doing pretty good, so I can't complain. I mean, North Carolina's got pretty mild temperatures. I mean, if we want to get up to the snowy or colder weather, we got the mountains just 2 hours away from us, and you've got some advisories, okay? But we're lucky. I mean, the beaches are 2 or 3 hours to the east of us. The mountains are 2 hours to the west of us. We're right here in what they call the Piedmont section of North Carolina. I like it. It's rolling hills and nice area, and the weather's not too dramatic or drastic one way or the other. I mean, we have fairly mild winters and fairly mild summers for that matter. I mean, it doesn't get extremely hot. I mean, we're like everybody else in the United States. I mean, we get into the 90s and the 100s sometimes, but not lingering of that. But just also, you're in Ocala. Okay, DL. Well, you're definitely not in a bad situation, are you? You're down there in the free state of Florida. Boy, didn't Florida do it right this time? Florida's got their act together. Out of all the states in the union, Florida seems to have their act together. They seem to have the governance right. They got people that are getting these school boards straightened back out. They got a lot of the woke people that are not controlling the narrative down there. I mean, it was, when you got a big corporate entity like Disney that wants to tell people what to do, think that their power can yield the way that people have to do. I was so glad to see Governor DeSantis kind of just knock that down, said, no, we're not listening to you, Disney. I mean, you can be a good corporate partner, or you can be a bad corporate partner. And if you're going to be a bad one, we're not going to listen to you, and not give them all the tax incentives. I mean, a lot of people, they want to, they think that they are in control, and they let Disney have too much control. I mean, they were doing their own policing and everything in that area. I mean, they were controlling everything in that part of around Orlando. And I mean, well, it's actually, I guess it'd be east. Is that east of Orlando? And but they were doing too much. 55 and slight rain. Yeah, I think you're doing fine. I think you're doing fine if it's 55 and a slight rain. I would say that's a comfortable temperature. Like I said a while ago, I checked. Let me check with Google again. Okay, Google, temperature.
The temperature in Cherryville right now is 37 degrees.
37 degrees. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Disney, they let Disney kind of incorporate everything over there. And they let them rule it, that not only, well, I mean, they should pay their fair share anyway, because of being such a big entity in that area. I mean, that's just like everything. Any big corporate situation should pay a hefty amount of taxes that would do that, but they let them actually control the police and the fire department. I mean, it was sort of under their rules and everything. So that's where you kind of let a corporate part get too far, I think. I mean, you need to have a separation of government and business at that point. And they didn't let Disney. I mean, Disney got too much control in that area, and I think they thought they could control the rest of the state in the same manner too. And you know, the rest of Florida, and with the guidance of DeSantis, stopped that in its tracks, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, when they start telling you how you should run your schools and how you should do different things like that, then Disney's overstepped their boundaries. I mean, you can already see, and I've watched a few things. I keep thinking, I can see why I don't like Disney like I used to. I mean, I used to think, well, they're really doing a good thing. And when Walt Disney ran it, I think it was, he ran it. Of course, he ran it as it was what Walt wanted, regardless. And he ran it his way, and he did a good job of it. But now with this woke society they have at Disney, and the LGBTQ and everything else that they've got going on down there, just trying to go too far left has hurt Disney in a lot of ways. Well, I know it, and that's what I was talking about, DL. Disney should have been just taxed normal and let the government do the government work down there, as opposed to letting Disney kind of control that area. I mean, I don't know exactly what municipalities that they ran, but I mean, from what I've read, it was a good bit all around corporate Disney down there. And they ran the fire departments and the police departments, and at that point, they've got an upper hand, and they can kind of control and tell them what to do, as opposed to the government down there saying, I mean, we have government regulations to be able to keep people in line. But when you let that business entity get so large and control its own destiny, then they're going to take a chance and abuse their situation. And I think that's what Disney did. I mean, they thought their strength was almighty, and they might have that way in California, but they don't have it in Florida. And I think they're seeing that right now. So I think that was a good thing, it kind of knocking Disney back on their haunches and say, no, you can't do this. And I hope they keep them in line. You've got to keep people like that in line, because they'll show you what they're trying to do. Oh, Walt Disney's rolling in his grave. Well, I don't think Disney would move. I mean, where else? Disney has to operate on the premise of being in a good location with a state that could work year round. I mean, that's the thing about it. California can work year round. Florida can work year round. The only other one that would come close would be Texas. And if they run into Texas, they'd be running into the same situation. I mean, I don't look for Disney to move. I mean, they are bound by weather as much as anything. I mean, think about it. I mean, the winter months in Florida are some of Disney's prime months. I mean, people from up north coming down to Orlando. I mean, Disney can't control the weather, so they have to kind of bend at something like that. I mean, they could move on up to, I mean, if they moved up here to North Carolina or Georgia or somewhere like that, I mean, they wouldn't be able to operate but about 9-10 months out of the year. Now, I noticed Carowinds is going to start trying to operate more throughout the year, and that's just right down below Charlotte. But they're going to be months that they're going to. I mean, they won't have the opportunity to run a lot of things that Disney would year round. I mean, think about it. I mean, you got some of the most pleasant temperatures in February, January and February that you can imagine in Orlando. I mean, I've been there at that time of the year, and it's nice. And you don't have that in the rest of the United States. I mean, you've got it in California and you've got it in Florida, but I mean, you can move it to Hawaii, I guess, but then they would lose. I mean, as a business point, Disney can only push their might so much because they're not going to be able, like I said, they can't control the state of Florida. I think they've tried. I think they've tried here lately, and they got the pushback from DeSantis, and that's a good thing because he kind of put them in line and says, "No, you're not going to do that." And I like seeing that. That's a balance. We got a balance between trade and government there, and in a good way, because that was somebody, like I said, trying to be too woke, trying to. I mean, they can threaten all they want to. I mean, they got more. I mean, think about it. They've got 50 years worth of investment in Florida. Florida's got the perfect climate that they need. I mean, where else are they going to go? Like I said, the nearest thing would be Texas. And even Texas doesn't have the beauty of having some of the weather that Florida and California have. I mean, California and Florida have some of the best, the Southern California and, the middle part of Florida have, I mean, if you look at them, they're almost parallel anyway. And the only other one across through there with any size at all or anything would be Texas. And even Texas has good weather most of the year, but their extremes are a little more volatile, I think, than way more than Florida. I mean, Florida has a few extremes, but not. I mean, hurricane season is always touchy, but the rest of the year, 95% of Florida's weather is great. And then Texas, it's probably only 60 to 70% because I've been through Texas on some cold days. I mean, I went through there in a snowstorm. So, I mean, and snow and ice, it's Texas. And you think about the way the East Coast has got its channels up and down the east. In other words, you got I-95, I-75 filtering straight into Florida. And then you got all the cross interstates that, anybody can get to. I-40 will meet up with 75 and 95 and 26 and all of them going south. And and 77. So you've got all these southern destinies that's easy for anybody from Michigan to New York, upper northern states, Connecticut and Vermont, and anybody in that area can just migrate down to Florida, either fly or drive, whatever, pretty easy. I mean, a flight from New York to Orlando used to not be that very expensive either. So, I mean, there's been a lot of flights in and out of Florida. I mean, that's a big thing. So when you think about those kind of vacations, Florida is the perfect destination. And then with Florida's freedoms right now, that's a second thing about it. I mean, Disney can fuss about some of their little social things, but they know that Florida the government down there is doing them a favor by the way they're running it. they're not running anybody away, I don't think. I mean, you can look at the migration of everybody moving to Florida. I mean, people are moving in droves to Florida, and even North Carolina. I mean, we're all these other states above Florida are getting a lot of people moving. Population is growing big time in North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia. All this has really changed. Well, like I said, DL, I think they can move to Texas, but I mean, Abbott runs Texas, and the Republicans still are pretty much in charge in Texas. So they would end up having the same kind of situation in Texas, I believe. I mean, they would definitely have the migrant workers down there, that's for sure. I mean, we definitely have, 2 million workers coming in a year. I mean, we're overrun right now. What was the other day? I was reading that we've had enough illegal crossings to repopulate a couple of the states. I forgot which states it was, but I mean, then the population coming across the border was enough to basically equal some of the states' populations. I mean, that's a crazy, crazy situation when you think about it. I mean, I just I don't know. Oh me. Well, guys, I tell you, I am kind of talked out this morning, and I'm gonna let it go early because I've got a lot of things I want to do. I want to stay warm for one thing, and I hope everybody else out there is staying warm. But I'm gonna get off of here and just call it a day. Hopefully, y'all have enjoyed the chat this morning. I'm gonna get back to other things I've got to do. Hopefully the signal's been good enough for everybody. And I'm gonna call it a day. Y'all take care, and I'll catch you later.